Good morning, doctors. I'm Eunice Chong Yu Han, metric number 286190. Now I will discuss moral judgments about should Malaysian telco and bank compensate scam victims. The moral values that support my decisions on this issue are responsibility and justice. Firstly, telco and bank must ensure that the service they provide consumers are safe and secure. They provide strict access control, monitoring privileged account access, and issue real-time alert when encountering suspicious accounts. More than that, most of the massive security incidents are due to the negligence of insiders. Therefore, if fraud occurs due to negligence by telco and bank, I think it is their responsibility to take the blame and compensate the victims. Moreover, justice leads me to support telco and banks in compensating the victim of scam. When fraud occurs because of negligence by telco and banks, I think making the victims bear the entire financial loss will be unjust. If victims are treated fairly, their loyalty and satisfaction toward the telco and bank will also increase. In addition, I will provide some factual information to support my positions. According to the data provided by National Scam Response Centers, the number of scam cases in Malaysia continues to rise every year. For example, in 2021 is 700 million ringgit Malaysia, 2022 is 804 million ringgit Malaysia, and 2023 is 1.34 billion ringgit Malaysia. In order to reduce scam, Australia and Singapore has also established a shared responsibility framework. SRF let telco and bank be more vigilant and cautious to avoid many cases of fraud as well as help rebuild customers' trust. In conclusion, I personally support the issue because telco and bank have better technology and resources to detect scam cases more quickly, so they have the responsibility to compensate the victim of fraud, and it is just.
So, today I will discuss the crucial topic of scam responsibility and compensation. It is important to understand that when it comes to scam, multiple parties have ethical duties. In my view of point, firstly, scammers are the main culprit in financial fraud, deceiving people for their own gain. However, it is not just their action we need to consider. Victims should never be left to bear their losses alone, and fair compensation must be provided to support their financial and emotional recovery. This is not just about fairness, it's about that the burden of fraud doesn't crush those who have been wronged. Other than that, it is also important for banks to take role in preventing fraud. Banks such as RHB Banking Group play a significant role in protecting their customers. They must implement robust security measures such as sapu ticket algorithm to detect and stop fraudulent activities. For example, RHB has enhanced their system to monitor transfer in real time, allowing them to spot and block suspicious transactions like large payment or international transfer. This approach demonstrates their commitment to upholding their duty of care. Banks have a responsibility to protect their customer, asset and transaction. If they fail in this duty, in my opinion, they should bear some responsibility for their client losses. Other than that, bank can also enhancing customer awareness and support by doing educational campaigns and also customer support services. Okay, number one, bank often run educational campaigns to inform customer about common fraud scheme and how to protect themselves. This include advice on recognizing phishing emails, securing personal information, and reporting suspicious activities. For the customer support services, providing robust customer support services to address fraud-related issues promptly, and also dedicate helplines and fraud response teams can assist customers in resolving incidents quickly. Okay, we can see this in HSBC Educational Initiative. HSBC runs various educational programs and provide resources to help customers recognize and avoid fraud. This initiative include online tutorial, webinar, detailed guides on their website. It also helps customers stay informed and vigilant against potential scam. Next, telecom provider also share responsibility in preventing scam. For me, they need to ensure their network are secure and educate customer about potential threat. Like, for example, the Malaysian Communication and Multimedia Commission (MCMC) collaborates with telecom company on scam awareness campaign, providing customer with the knowledge to identify and avoid fraudulent activities. By taking this step, telecom provider actively demonstrate their accountability and dedication to protect their customer. Their role is crucial in preventing scam, especially those involving phishing and fraudulent call or messages. This cooperation effort between MCMC and telecom company help create a safer environment. In conclusion, in my opinion, preventing and addressing fraud require a collective effort. Scammers are to be blamed, but banks and telecom provider must also step up to protect their clients. Fair compensation for victims should come from all responsibility parties to ensure no one bears the burden alone. Let's continue to promote awareness and take action to create a safer environment for everyone. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dharshini Ramu, 291825. For moral judgment of my part, first, students might approach analyzing a scam from a variety of ethical angles. A deontological student advocates rigorous adherence to rules and concentrates on transgenerations of ethical norms such as integrity. A utilitarian will evaluate the harm that the deception has caused and support laws and awareness campaigns that maximize the well-being of society. Systematic problems that permit unethical action, such as lack of legal oversight, are highlighted by a socio-ethical viewpoint. Second, while legal positives emphasize probable misconduct and evidence, warning against early blame, between ethics students will concentrate on the intentions and character of individuals involved. When there are several parties engaged, some can argue of shared accountability. Students may have different ideas on how to remedy the harm. While some justice-minded people support preventive measures like stricter rules, others place a higher priority on victim reparation. Some emphasize fairness and transparency while voicing worries about possible misuse of compensation schemes. In general, the evolution of fraud and culpability is influenced by ethical frameworks such as accountability, justice, and social welfare. These topics are covered in more details in articles. Thank you so much.
Good day, Doctor. My name is Maisara Zolkifli, matrix number 291613, and now I will be presenting my individual moral judgment based on should investment fraud victims be blamed for their own loss as they were greedy and gullible. And my response to that is yes, it might not be their fault, but they are to be partially blamed. It is because, first off, the role of personality responsibility in mitigating scams. Victims play a significant role in mitigating scams by exercising caution and performing due diligence before investing in schemes that promise unrealistic returns. While scammers are the main perpetrators, personal negligence often open the door for exploitations. Many individuals, despite knowing safer investment options like mutual funds or fixed deposit, are lured by the promise of quick profits. This behavior reflects a prioritization of greed over caution. Next, authorities' efforts to warn and protect the public. Malaysian regulatory bodies like Bank Negara Malaysia (BNM) and the Security Commission Malaysia (SC) actively warn the public about unlicensed investment schemes through tools such as BNM's alert list and SC guidance material. These resources are designed to help individuals identify scams and avoid financial loss. However, the persistence of scams indicates a gap in public adherence to these warnings. Many people ignore these advisories and continue to invest in schemes promising high returns and risk-free. Ethical perspective on victim accountability. From a utilitarian perspective, Holding individuals accountable for their financial decisions could lead to greater cautions and ultimately reduce the frequency of scams. If potential victims are aware of the consequence of negligence, they might take fewer risks. However, victim blaming can have significant downside. It may deter individuals from reporting scams due to fear of stigma or judgment, inadvertently allowing scammers to continue their activities unchecked. That's all for my moral judgment. I'll be passing to the next presenter. Thank you, Doctor.
From my personal perspective, I object to blaming victims entirely for their losses because it oversimplifies the complexity of investment fraud. Fraudsters always use complexity and psychological manipulations to deceive the victims. For example, Bernice Motors policy scheme divorced both sophisticated investor and individual. From a moral standpoint, for the principle of justice, victims should not be blamed from action they did have full control over. The responsibility lies with the perpetrators. Furthermore, the utilitarian ethics suggests that to prevent such fraud through enhanced enforcement and public education would bring better benefits to society. Through the ethics of care, public should expect sympathy for the victims and help them get out trouble rather than blaming them. I support the compensations by merchant, telecom and banks due to negligence in safeguarding customer data or implementing security measures. Telecoms and banks play an important key role in fraud. They have the responsibility to ensure their system is secure and solid. In the year 2022, Bank Negara Malaysia has recognized the need for stronger anti-scam measures to emphasize the shared responsibility of institutions in preventing fraud. From the moral standpoint of accountability, the organization should share the liability for the consequence if they do not often maintain the secure system to prevent vendors exposed. For social contract theory, customer entrust bank and telecom with their security. In the returns, these organizations have an obligation to uphold trust and provide compensations when failures occurs. In conclusions, blaming victims without considering systemic issues is unproductive. On the contrary, the efforts should focus on holding fraudsters accountable and creating protective measures to prevent similar issues in the future. In the second issue, a moral decisions need to weigh the stakeholder and consider the long term of actions. The telecom and bank should compensate scam victims when fraud occurs. By doing so, will increase public trust and promote fairness in industry.
Hello, my name is Maisara Binti Abdul Wahab, matric number 295097. Will be presenting about my individual moral judgment for the topic of scam blame and compensations. So I will discuss a critical issue here, which is the unfairness of blaming investment fraud victims for their losses and the need for bank and telcos to compensate the victims. Okay, as we know, many people argue that these victims are greedy or gullible, but I strongly object to this perspective. It places the entire responsibility on the victims itself while ignoring the role of other parties that also involved, which is in this context, bank and telcos companies. So victims are often manipulated by well-planned schemes that exploit their trust and lack of knowledge. This manipulation is compounded by negative stereotypes that portray them as deserving of their victimization. Research shows that fraudsters employ psychological tactics such as creating a false sense of urgency and promising unrealistic returns to deceive their targets effectively. Therefore, it is unreasonable to hold victims completely accountable when they are deceived by skilled manipulators. Okay, so now let's shift our focus on the responsibility of financial institutions. Bank and telcos companies have a crucial role in ensuring the security of their services and raising awareness about potential scams. They must educate their clients on how to verify transactions and be cautious. Moral theories support my stance here. For instance, utilitarianism suggests that compensating victims will enhance public trust in financial institutions and reduce overall harm in society. The next one is the due care theory, which emphasizes that these institutions have an ethical obligation to protect their clients from predictable risks. In light of this, I believe that banks and telcos have moral duty to provide compensations to scam victims. They possess wide resources and expertise in fraud detection and prevention, making them liable for failing to implement adequate security measures or educate their customers about scams. In conclusion, my moral judgment is clear, whereas it is unfair to blame victims of investment fraud completely for their financial loss, as they are often manipulated by deceptive tactics beyond their control. At the same time, Malaysian banks and telecom companies have a moral duty to provide compensation to scam victims, given their responsibility to safeguard clients from predictable risks. By addressing these issues collaboratively, we'll enhance public trust and contribute to a safer financial environment for all. That's all for me today. Thank you.